Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Day Shift, our Hunter the Reckoning Chronicle. This is episode 2. Our hunters have all just awakened their drives. They all just saw some pretty crazy shit. Before we hop back into the game, a couple little housekeeping things. So I want to talk about one of the mechanics that we'll probably see demonstrated tonight because it's a cool thing that Hunter does, and I feel like it's worth mentioning. I also want to go ahead and say that this is an adult stream. We will probably swear. There will probably be some gore. I don't know what horrible things these creatures are going to get up to tonight, but we are using safety tools, as everyone really should at their table. We encourage you to take the time away from the screen if you need it, if something gets to be just a little bit too much for you. But we're super happy to have you here. So thank you so much for joining us. The thing that I wanted to talk to you all about before we get started, because I think it's a valuable tool for hunters, your ability to utilize the desperation dice pool. So, as hunters, you have the ability to tap into your desperation dice. Once your drive has awakened, it's just something extra you can do to give yourself a better chance of succeeding in an action. Right now, we are at desperation level 1 in this chronicle. We're not super desperate yet, but should any of our players here be completing an action that is within their creed field, they can make a choice and say, I would like to use that desperation dice, add 1 dice to their pool, hope that it doesn't get a critical failure, because bad things happen when it gets a critical failure, and maybe get an extra success. If they get 1 failure with a desperation dice, they are overreaching, which means that we increase the danger track by 1. The danger track is what I, as a storyteller, use to determine how difficult things are really getting right now for our hunters. That track ranges from 1 to 5 and currently is also sitting at a 1. But we'll see if that increases over the course of the night tonight. If that pool gets bigger and our players here roll more than 1 critical failure on a desperation die, they fall into despair. Players in despair cannot use that desperation dice pool until they have earned some redemption. Those redemptions are specific to what drive you have. So I'm not going to talk about them too specifically here. My players have a document that they've all been given access to that has that information for them. I'm hoping we get to see some despair tonight. How about you guys? Despair? Yeah? Great. Before we hop back into our recap, I want to talk to these lovely people. Why don't you tell us all who you are and who you're playing tonight? Let's start with Luis.
Hi, everybody. I'm Luis Carazo, and I'm playing Professor Diego Dominguez, history professor extraordinaire. I'm an actor. I guess the big thing that I have around the corner is a premiere of Critical Role's Exandria Unlimited Calamity that's happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
We got him first. We got him when he was still underground.
Yes. Snatched me up. And I'm an actor, do some TV and film. And I'm super excited to see how this character that I have built survives the hunt or not.
Markeia, how about you?
Always remember that unmute button. Hi, I'm Markeia McCarty. I'll be playing Core Springman. Tonight she is a bubbly tank, let's say, in everything that she does. I am a actor, host, and producer. I may have seen like popping around the internet in different places like Nerdist, Geek and Sundry, even a one-off on Critical Role before. But yeah, for tonight, Core she was in the middle of event planning. You know, everything was going exactly how it should, and now everything in the world is completely upside down, and she is the bad person in her life. So what is she going to do with that?
So you're having a great day is what I'm hearing.
Yes, Cora's having the best of days.
I'm sure it's only going to get better.
Yeah,
It's all
especially
uphill from here.
talking about despair. Yeah, definitely.
I was going to do a you can't spell despair without something, but really the only word in there is air. So, Briana, how about you? Who are you and what are you up to these days?
Hi guys, I'm Briana. I go by Utahime on the social medias. I'm playing Angelique, or as everyone knows her, Angel Dubois. She is the club owner of the Blue Bayou, which is now partially covered in blood and guts. And she's kind of freaking out. It's fine. Cool. Everything's fine. But if you want to follow me at Utahime Cosplay, as the name suggests, I am a cosplayer, a streamer, TTRPG enthusiast, lover of all of these different various games. And I am just hoping that everything ends well tonight.
Not me. Last but certainly not least, Justus.
Hi, everybody. My name is Justus. You can find me on all the socials as Stashman Do. I do competitive facial hair stuff in my off time, but I'm also in the TTRPG space on the backside. I'm the operations manager for 1985 Games, and you can see me floating around doing streams here and there. You will not find me on Critical Role. Just we'll clear that up. Not there. But tonight I'm playing Barry, who is he's just the sweetest guy.
Sure.
Barry. He's a loner. And he has great people skills.
No one invited you on here to lie, just so you know. And I am your storyteller this evening. My name is Diana DiMicco. I'm not going to bore you with the things that I'm up to. Just find me on Twitter. But with all of that in mind, let's hop right back in. So last week, we joined the mourners at the memorial service for Isaac Meadows, an eccentric professor from the University of Miami. We met Angel, the superstitious owner of the Blue Bayou, a New Orleans-flavored club on the main drag of the Miami Strip. We met Barry, an unapproachable fellow who seems to be showing his grief through surliness. We met Core, whose party planning skills were only rivaled by her sunny disposition, despite the current surroundings. And we met Professor Dominguez, a history professor who's so knowledgeable that you can almost forgive his complete lack of situational awareness. Along with a busboy Perry and a mysterious man crying in the corner, they were the last in attendance at this memorial. A woman with raven hair crossed the threshold, and noticing the crying man, things got strange. The crying stranger commanded that Perry place himself between the woman and his person, stepping into the shadows impossibly fast and disappearing altogether. The woman, her fingers elongated, her muscles bulged, and she took on a near animal form, literally tearing poor Perry in half in front of all of you. She fled without a word into the night. Though the interaction lasted only a few moments, something changed for you four. A drive was awakened within each of you, something just beneath the surface that made you want to give chase, to hunt these creatures down for one reason or another. And just as this new reality began to settle in for our hunters, Angel received a frantic text from her head of security, Marcos, letting her know that the police were on the way. To paint the scene, the Blue Bayou, which is normally very curated and extraordinarily tidy, is currently in shambles. There are sort of shreds of one of the manuscripts that got torn apart, still floating down through the air. Perry remains everywhere, honestly. Several tables are overturned. There are now scratch marks on the door frame leading outside. It looks as though a pretty gnarly fight happened here. Professor Dominguez, Core had just helped you to your feet And you kind of finally dragged your attention away from the doorway. And you see Core is splattered head to toe in blood. And as you look down at your own clothes, which weren't stain-free to begin with, you too are sort of splattered in clear evidence of what's happened here this evening. What do you do?
And I'm aware of the cops that are on their way.
Angel hasn't said anything yet.
So I want to try to kind of, if I can rewind for a sec.
Sure.
After Angel got that message, she's like, all right. And then she goes to the bar. She takes a shot glass that was on the backside of the bar, and she pours herself a shot of tequila. She downs that shot. And she's like, all right. For everyone who doesn't already know, I'm Angelique Dubois, the owner of this establishment. And I'm pretty sure everyone in Miami already knows Core, and she's pointing in Core's direction. She's fabulous. I'm going to make this speech quick. I want to apologize. I have not been the best host. And I know for some of you, I got off on the wrong foot. I apologize. And she's pointing in the direction of Barry. I'm just not one for funerals, and I'm not on my A game. Okay. So we have approximately probably like 5 minutes before the cops arrive. And let's just say I refuse to let everything that I built here go to hell over a freaking guru or whatever that thing was that basically tore poor Perry, God bless his soul.
Are you kidding me right now? 5 minutes? We don't need speeches.
I know. I'm just trying to properly introduce myself, apologize, and try to get this on the road.
Not the time.
Listen, yes. I understand that, but we need to all work together because I'm not trying to end up in the slammer. Are you guys?
At exactly this moment that something stirs behind the counter, and right where your hand is resting on the bar, Angelique, an enormous 35-pound pure black Maine Coon cat leaps up and lands with a thud beside you.
See, this is what I'm talking. See, that's already a bad omen. Okay, we're really off to a bad start. But I just don't want to end up in jail, and I'm sure you don't. So if you can, please, just follow me. And she's gonna take off in the direction of the occult's shelf area.
Oh.
Angel hears a loud squeal behind her. And Core goes running up and like, oh, did you follow mommy? Look at you.
That thing belongs to you.
Oh, this is Hades. Oh, I know we have.
Oh, and that name is. Oh my God.
Before, but this is my muffin. Look at this little river.
It is in this chaos, Professor, that you look down and recognize you are covered in blood.
What about that manuscript that got torn asunder? That's like the at this point, those pages have fallen on the ground. I'm assuming you described that they were in the air.
Yeah, it was about like 150-page manuscript. And that 150 pages is now everywhere.
No, there is a reaction to the blood on my clothes. And then there's an even bigger reaction to the demise of this book, which is horrifying. We have got to get out of here.
Just follow me. I promise. Where we're going, you can clean up and
right behind you. I'm gonna go get some of the books.
Have some proof for the cops, so we all don't end up in jail. Orange is not my color. Okay, let's go. Right over here. And.
Is it a possibility to just close off this section so cops don't see it, and perhaps we change our clothes? I don't mean to come off as someone who has been in this situation before. Not exactly this situation, but when things need to be covered up. I'm saying too much right now.
So I have one better. We need actual proof that obviously we did not do. And she's like also stepping like away, trying to avoid any blood, any guts that she sees. And she's trying to like calm herself. And while she's going to that particular wall, which is basically filled with like everything from like, random voodoo dolls, different occult items. There's a particular photo. It's pretty large that's attached to that wall that is of Baron, the famous Baron Samedi. So, really well known voodoo priest and in Louisiana. And what she's going to do, she's going to press while they're kind of like, if I don't know where everyone else is, but she's just basically heading to that wall. She presses the edge of that photo and everyone will hear there's a specific click and the wall moves from basically it seems to open up as if it's a doorway.
Barry.
Yes.
Hold that thought, Professor. This actually kind of rings a bell for you. This false wall. You remember in your prior occupation, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Angel, how long have you owned the Blue Bayou? We decided it was about 5 years.
5 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
About 5 years ago, Barry, there was a client who insisted on 2 separate teams of installation. She didn't want any one group of folks to have all of the information about her bar and restaurant. She was very clear about that when she stated her demands for her security measures.
Barry's just going to file that away for the time being. He is very focused on not going to jail right now.
Understandable. Diego, what was it you wanted to say?
Oh, I as soon as that door slides open, as Angel's a millisecond where Angel is wondering where everybody else is, you would realize that I was right behind you, like probably too close, awkwardly close, with a stack of books in my hands. And I just look to you and I say, "Oh, secret study, got it." And I walk in.
Well, before you do, she's while that's happening, she probably did put in the code while trying to hide it because you were right behind her.
I would not have noticed it.
Digits long too. It wasn't a 4-digit code.
So she's
or
like
anything
boop,
easy
boop, boop,
like
boop,
that.
because she knows this in and out. And there is also too, like on the right hand side, there's like of that wall, there's like a antique mirror. Again, that goes back to her superstitions. But she puts in that code, and she says, among many other things. And then she goes inside, and basically what everyone will see, it basically looks like a studio apartment. It's a whole separate area that she basically built. That's like her area, her safe zone. So it's basically the ceiling. It actually looks kind of bright in the room because it's a haint blue, a very specific blue color on the ceiling, but the rest of the layout, it's like very simple modern decor. On the left side, Diego would immediately probably see there is literally it looks like a mini library of occult books, things on superstition, on the supernatural. Like if he knowing him, he probably has the eye for it right away.
Oh, yeah.
Based on his background. There's even a ladder that kind of extends upwards on the side in order to get to some higher shelves where there seems to be like certain glass jars with like sage and other interesting, unique items that, unless someone was familiar with it, wouldn't really know what it was. As far as on the right side, there is a actual surveillance system that shows everything that's based, like on every camera. It's basically each room of the Bayou, including the patio area, which is where immediately Angel kind of just jets over to that area, to the computer, like basically making sure that there's a USB that's attached to the side of the computer. And as she's doing that, what the rest of you guys would see, like further back, there's like a dining room. It's kind of small dining room area. There's like a bathroom. Her bed is kind of like against the corner with like a little small closet with her things. There's like pictures of artwork of Miami and Marilyn Monroe, large photographs of her. And then there's like pictures in small frames of like what looks like probably her family, like family photos. But that's pretty much what you guys would see going into this room.
Core, Hades is kind of like, he snuggled up against you when you were giving him his little baby talk. And he's sort of like thrown himself, for lack of a better term, over your shoulder. So he's just hanging out with you. Wherever you go, he's going to go.
Okay. Cora's going to, because she's still near the bar, is going to grab some bar towels. And if anybody had been looking at her, you'd realize that this is like the face of someone that isn't computing, that something like really big happened. Like it's literally a little bit of autopilot that's going on. And when she has the bar towels that she put underneath her shoulder so that Hades wouldn't be stained by the blood and the viscera that's all over her. She then cleans a spot on the bar where she sees there's a bit of blood, completely not paying attention to all the blood in the rest of the room, looks at it, looks and sees that everybody seems to have gone through a door in the wall, and then like says out loud to Hades, I really think that we should have tried to cover this up or something. But you know what? You know what's even better, Hades? If we're not even here for the police to put us with this. Isn't that right? That's right, baby. And then she's going to head over to the open doorway that I think everybody else has already gone through.
So Angel is headed straight over to that security system to go ahead and find some proof. Gotta find the proof. Cora is kind of trying to wrestle her mental state into compliance while she crosses this threshold. I'm guessing that Professor Diego beelines for the books.
Oh yeah, with the stack of books that I got that were, from what I understand, belonging to Isaac Meadows.
Correct. Is
Yes.
there anything in particular that you're looking for in those texts?
I am looking for, so I don't believe in coincidences. And so immediately I'm looking for if there's pictures, anything that looked visually like what we saw, or descriptions of any figures that look like what we saw.
Okay. Roll me. Is this something for which you are using your edges and perks?
I mean, if I can, I will immediately.
I feel like you probably should.
I will spend all the time that requires.
It's a mini library.
I will definitely use it, and I'll spend any of the time that my edge requires of me to do this.
Wonderful. So, Diego possesses an edge called library. Whether in the form of a musty library filled with centuries-old texts or a well-encrypted database encompassing the latest research on paranormal entities, the hunter has access to a wealth of information on a wide variety of topics and creatures. Given time, the hunter can use this to glean important clues on the behavior, strengths, and weaknesses of their quarry. I'm going to ask for very specific purposes. Are you looking for information on whatever the woman was, or are you trying to find some information on that man in the corner?
I was taken by the most physical, visceral act, and that was the woman that did that. So I'm focusing on that event.
Wonderful. So your edge pool for this role is resolve and academics. While you're doing that, let's go to Barry. Barry, this is not an ideal situation for you.
No, definitely not. Barry recognizes that we're not going to get out of this if we're here at all, because Angel can look for whatever evidence that she wants to prove that we didn't do it, but there's a pile of blood in there, and the two people that are responsible aren't there. It doesn't look good for us. So first, Barry's going to check on his little eye in the sky and make sure, see if he can see the approaching police. But then he's going to notice the whole camera bank, monitor bank, and rush over there.
I leave this up to Barry, but because this was a particularly expensive and challenging job for the ADD Miami Security Company, and you were aware of it, is this a location that you would have worked on?
Yes, 100%.
Wonderful.
Anything complex, Barry would have wheedled his way into so that he knew at least a little bit about it. If he had the opportunity to put a back door in, he would have done that.
Yeah, Angel. So despite the many times that you called to complain about it, there is a blind spot in the camera feeds, and it just happens to be that really dark corner that the man had been sitting in.
Damn it. Oh my God. Of course. Perfect. It's probably that black cat that came by. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
I do want to just continue with what I was saying. I'm not saying I've been in this situation before, but it was an art exhibit where they did take a giant hammer onto a bunch of meat, and I didn't realize that is what the exhibit was going to be. And I did not have galoshes or a raincoat with me, so that's what I meant about blood and viscera. And she pets Hades.
I just don't have enough linens or whatever to cover all of that. Definitely didn't anticipate that, or maybe we could have ordered that. Core. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, tall and broody. What is your name? She's pointing at Barry, who's like who came to where the area was.
Oh, yeah. He's tracking monitors, checking for all of the different angles. My name's not really important right now. What is important is that we get out of here.
I think it's important if we're trying to all get out of this and communicate in order to do so effectively. So I would say yes, just a simple first name will do.
Call me Barry. That's
okay,
fine.
Barry. Perfect, Barry. So it looks like you are you familiar with the system, or like can you fix the fact that I cannot seem to find any type of clear image of what happened, so we are in the clear?
Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely install this converter to go back in time and get a better picture of it.
Okay, Angel, this isn't your business. Is it at all a possibility to simply call the police and say, hey, you're not needed after all? That could work.
If they're literally like 2 minutes away, I don't really see how we can tell them to basically call off all the cars that are already coming to said space.
Is there a back door? Maybe perhaps we should just leave.
We can leave out
looking at the monitors. I mean, Angel is a smart lady, so she had this system set up to record for a continuous 6-hour period, and then it would upload that information to a drive that only she had access to. So it parses out the tapes. She's able to go back just far enough to see the woman cross the threshold and enter the blue bayou. But where you all remember things kind of starting to go awry, a very odd thing happens on the tape. The figure of the woman, it doesn't seem to change and grow grotesque as you remember it happening. In fact, it almost just seems to spin on its axis very, very quickly, all pixelated and kind of warped. It sort of looks like a very specific kind of malfunction that you might see in like The Sims or Second Life or some kind of really weird online interface. But you know that's not what happened out there. It just looks so strange. It looks like a video game.
I don't even know what I'm looking at exactly. Okay, we're gonna have to go to Plan B. Plan B, yeah, Plan B.
What was Plan A?
Oh, what Barry and suggested? You said back. Which one of you guys said back area?
Oh, the back door. I said
back door. Core.
Me.
That was you with the brilliant idea as usual. You are fantastic, perfect.
Calling the police and telling them that they shouldn't come, but I like the back door idea as well.
Or
we can do both at the same time, right?
Or
that's perfect.
As the owner of this establishment, why don't you go out front and just meet the police before they come in and tell them that everything's fine and they can go on their way? And we'll go out the back door.
Yes, that would be if you go to the patio area that's to the left, far left of the bar, and straight down, and there is a gate, and you just exit out that way, and you're there in the alleyway. So you guys do that. Thank you, Barry. Again, I'm not on my A game. Again, apologies for obviously our interactions in general tonight. And I will do that while you guys do your thing. Okay.
Diego interrupts for a moment as he pokes his head away from the book above it and looks at you. Are you still wearing clothes that are bloodied up, gored up? Did we all get splattered with gore? I think we did, right?
It was just you and Core.
Oh, it's just me and Core. Okay. Yeah. So then he just looks up and looks at you and looks up and down and is like, and then goes right back to the book.
How'd you do on that roll?
Okay, well, I rolled 3 successes and 2 critical successes on top of that.
Did you want to use any of your perks to determine very, very specific information there?
Oh, yeah. I want to know who they are.
Who they are. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the information you glean from the text in front of you, this was a very, very old book that you had pulled from Angel's private stash here. It's not what you expected as you kind of pulled it off of the shelf and opened it up. You almost see that it's sort of like a children's book. And as you're flipping through, there are stories about creatures that become more active at night, and there are stories about creatures of immense size and strength, and they feel very like Grimm's fairy tale, very cautionary, as if these were stories that maybe were read to Angel as a child to make sure that she didn't go out after dark or sneak out to see a boy or something like that. But as you're kind of flipping through it, you are sort of stopped in your tracks by this ink plate picture of what probably seems to be a man, but he has like dog-like paws with extremely long claws at the end. And you can see the hair on top of his head is sort of drawn to grow into his face as if he had a muzzle. And the picture in question shows him disemboweling several villagers from the same time period. It's really not a very pretty picture, but it gets the message across.
Ooh.
You see beneath that particular ink plate a title that simply says Le Garou. You've read enough books.
Oh yeah.
You know what that means.
I sure do. And I just, the word Legaroo just kind of like slips out of my mouth in a slightly louder than a whisper, but almost like butter. And I'm tracing from the picture of this creature tearing apart these villagers, my fingers just kind of running, tracing the outline of that creature.
As you do so, your pinky finger sort of grazes the opposite page in this book. And a little bit of blood that you didn't notice was there smears across the page over the word silver.
I know what this is. I know this, and I just flipped the book over to them. This is what that was.
Yeah, I think I said that earlier. You're very cute and very eccentric. What is your name anyway? I didn't get your name. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm Professor Diego Dominguez. But this book has everything we need.
You
then take it with
the faint wail of sirens in the distance. Now
you can borrow it. You can borrow it.
It is a busy night on the strip. Angel, you probably have under a minute to make some choices here.
Yes.
Oh, Professor Diego, you came up in my readings and my study of Isaac Meadows. I assume you were his friend. So sorry about condolences.
Thank you.
As Core just like kind of swipes some blood off of her. Still, her face is not registering.
Really not the time, folks.
Angel's going to run over to her closet, and she's basically going to pull like it's going to be like a Lululemon jacket and like some leggings, and she's going to toss them. Core, darling, change into this, and before you leave, I'm sorry, Professor, I definitely don't have menswear. Unfortunately, I don't entertain that many guests. But
not maybe saying I have a lot.
Here's a towel.
Not saying I have a lot of experience with this, but Professor, I mean, with this muddy brown thing you have going on, you probably could just turn your shirt inside out and just put your jacket over it.
And here's a towel for you.
I just immediately, without even, I just start doing that without like no social awareness whatsoever. I just like start taking off my shirt and turning it inside out. Like it's the most obvious thing.
Everyone is freaking out around you, and now the professor is undressing himself. What are you doing?
You all, it is pitch black outside. Nobody can see the blood. But you know where they can see the blood? In the dining room, where the body was. We need to go.
Okay. Just take that with you and borrow the book. And here, take the towel with you. And I will go to the front. You guys exit patio. Bar left, bar down, and go out the gate. Yes.
Everyone roll me wits and awareness to see how well you can follow Angel's instructions. Obviously not Angel.
Okay. I specialize in awareness. Do I get anything extra with that?
What was the specialty you took for that?
Instincts.
I'm going to let you add 1 dice to your dice pool. It would be more, but the fact that you're sort of, having a crisis right now is...
Yeah, I rolled composure for her and didn't really, and I only got 1 success on it. So I was like, all right, I know how I'm going to play this.
It's completely understandable. Yeah. My life would be falling apart too.
Yeah. And to be fair, Angel was definitely spitting that out. Like it sounded like a Missy Elliott rap. It was just going really fast. Yeah.
Angel was saying it like she was working the front and was directing people to their tables. Like she'd said it 1,000,000 times, but at like double speed. What did everybody get?
I got 4 successes.
4.
I got 2 crits. And do that? Does that mean 4?
Yeah.
Nice.
4 successes.
Oh wait, are crits 6s or 10s?
10s.
Okay, then still 4 successes.
Okay. So every time that you get 2 10s, instead of that being 2 successes, it's 4 successes.
Okay, because I got a 6 and 2 9s. Next time I'll try harder. Well,
also nice, but
6, 7, and 2 9s. But it's like I'll try harder next time.
Between the 3 of you, it almost looks like the 3 Stooges trying to make their way out of this building in shambles. Because like I imagine it, Diego is still trying to like turn his shirt inside out, and Hades has kind of moved a little bit, and maybe his tail is right across your face right now, Cora, while you're trying to like pull on these abomination leggings. They have like little garden gnomes printed all over them. You wonder how someone as tasteful as Angel ever had these. They're really bad. Barry, you are kind of frantic in your movements. So every time you think you've taken the right turn, it ends up being the wrong one. So you have to overcorrect and you almost run into everybody. But the three of you do make it outside, down the stairs, through the patio to the back gate. So you are technically off the property right now. Angel, you are going out front to meet the police, correct?
Yes. So what she would do is her normal, her normal routine as far as making sure that everything is closed, shut, because of the fact that she likes to keep that where people don't know about it unless they need to know about it, mainly herself. And she goes after just closing everything, locking it in place.
Some of those really cool high shutters that are real
exactly
tall.
Yeah. So she's going to do all that, close that shut, including the picture with the Baron, and then she's going to avoid as much of the blood and guts. It's trying to make sure those Manolos do not have one drop of blood on them to get to the front before the cops would be able to come through.
In your careful little steps to kind of avoid these big puddles of blood, you do end up kicking a couple little pieces of detritus around in the process. And your shoe taps something that almost makes sort of a rattling noise. And you see a small red box slide, maybe 18 inches in front of you across the floor.
She's going to kind of clock that, but her priority right now is to try to get to the door as quickly as possible. But she's going to remember, when she did that, she's kind of looks in that direction, but she's kind of shakes it off and then tries to run to make sure that she can close the doors and seem like she's locking the establishment. That's basically her goal, is to get to the front as quickly as possible, act like she's closing up shop.
Like you're closing. Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
There we go.
Wonderful. So you can make it out the front door, and you are there kind of closing the shutters, and you've got your keys out, so you're ready to go and lock up the door. The three of you who went around back can see this from your vantage point. There's a really narrow little alley there. So you can see Angel trying desperately to just hold it together and do the things like she would normally do when she was closing down the Blue Bayou. Are you doing anything? Are you waiting for her? Barry, what are you up to? Your drone is probably still out front at this point.
Yeah. So as soon as we're outside and in we're in an alley, you said?
Sort of. So the gate swings open into a tiny little alley that's used for garbage.
I'm going to duck down behind the closest dumpster, and pull out my phone. And I'm going to try and get get the drone in a position where it can't be seen, but it can probably, hear and see what's going on. So I can know if we need to book it.
What would this look like to the professor and to Core? Because they don't know you have a drone right now.
So Barry has one of those. There's a special security screen that you can only see the phone if you're looking directly at it. So if you're looking at it from an angle as they would be standing up, they would just see a sheer reflective silvery surface, but he's frantically moving something around on his phone and sort of zooming in, zooming out.
Professor Diego, I know that all of us we've been through an experience, but you are noticing that his phone is not on and he's just touching it a lot. Perhaps we all need to just take a walk and just breathe for a moment.
I was, hello, Kitty. I pet your cat.
Hades.
Hi. He's friendly, yes?
He's going to kind of reach out to sniff your fingertips.
Uh-huh.
And noting that there's blood on them, he starts licking them.
That feels good. I let him lick my fingers. I like the rough tongue of the cat. It reminds me of a kind of like a paper that some like older texts. They have like a kind of texture that's a little rough, a little sandpapery. Some of them, especially the binding.
I pegged you as a cat person. Usually, everybody becomes a cat person around Hades.
Oh. Hades is unusually calm. I don't know him. Should we be worried about him that he's doing something strange?
It seems like, to me, he has one of those things that's not really a phone. It's usually one of those things that just makes you feel better when you like mess around with it. So, some people have that. It's kind of like a comfort device. And I'm surprised Hades is Hades is friendly with some people. You should see him with others that he does not like. It's something to, let's just say this isn't the first human blood he's tasted. That really was a person that got torn apart in front of us, wasn't it?
It was.
There's like an inkling of realization on Cora's face with that, and then it just kind of goes away.
Yeah, I don't have a emotional support phone. I have a drone. It's on the other side of the building. I'm just trying to get a good look on what's going on.
Oh,
it's okay to have a comfort device with you. There should be more of them in the world. Something other than a phone to stare at. You're ahead of the curve.
What is wrong with you?
Well, a lot, probably.
As you say that, you notice that Diego has walked over and is like standing right behind you, way too close, trying to get a look over your shoulder into whatever's on your screen.
What?
Oh, is that? What is it that you have a drone?
Hey, personal bubble. Back up.
Is that
don't
what you call
know what privacy
drone?
is?
Is that the kind of personal bubble? I don't know what that is. Listen, technology is, not really my thing, but I'm like going back to the book because one of the things that I was specifically looking for as soon as I started to see that there's valuable information, I want to know what this thing covets. I want to know what matters to it.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said that out loud.
Did you say it out loud, Professor?
I think I would have. Yeah, I think I talk to myself.
I think you probably do too.
Yeah. So you probably heard me mumble something like, what do you want? What do you covet? What is it that you want? I'm looking through the book,
Well, Professor Diego goes kind of Bilbo Bagginsy in this back corner. Let's go back to Angel at the very front. So Angel, you have just turned the lock to the front door and you just get half a moment of reprieve where you kind of like, and then behind you, you hear, ma'am, is everything all right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you need anything, officer?
You turn to see a very tall man of Latin descent with a name tag that reads Officer Alfonso, and a very short woman with spiked up, like the 90s spiked hair.
Oh, yeah.
Bright red that says Officer Scott. She has her hand on her weapon right now. We got a call about a disturbance here.
I don't believe that was our establishment. I mean, obviously, we're closed for the evening. I did hear from one of our guests for the funeral, which I don't know if you guys were aware. We did have an event for a beautiful, wonderful man who passed away. I can't even. It's just. It is just so painful to think of what his family's going through right now and all of his friends and loved ones. But someone did mention that they heard something down the street. There was some chaotic mess, some fight that was going on. I think it was La Palabra.
Ma'am, they do have some wilding going on over at La Palabra tonight, but we just came from there. I assure you, there's nothing ill-mannered happening there. In fact, we got 2 calls about the Blue Bayou. Your neighbor, Mrs. Porter, and a gentleman named Marcos both called into the station.
Yes. Again, Marcos was told by the guests to let them know that obviously there was an incident that happened down the street at La Palabra, and the suspect in question seemed to try to come and enter our establishment, and we stopped that. We nipped that in the bud, and I think they jetted off down that way. And she's going to motion kind of like she's sure, like. And of course, Marcos, being our head of security, made sure to take measure just in case you guys had a chance to actually catch the strange individuals that were running and seeming to cause all types of chaos down that way.
Roll me your manipulation and persuasion.
Will do. Ooh, okay. So that is 5 successes. One of them was a crit.
All right, excellent. So Officer Alfonso kind of, while you're speaking, he takes a step back and sort of leans back to try and look in the direction of La Palabra. It's almost as if he sort of tunes out, but he believes what you're saying. So he's trying to like scope the crowd, people that are out on the streets. Officer Scott, however, has not turned away from you. Her hand now rests on her belt instead of on her weapon, but she's narrowed her eyes and is looking at you with some intensity right now. You said you had a funeral here this evening?
Oh, yes. It was definitely a sad occasion. We hate to see just people who are making a difference in our community. Terrible things happen. They pass away, and it's just, we've lost a pure soul, and it's so unfortunate. Mm-hmm.
Roll me charisma and performance.
Will do.
I do have a question.
Yes.
The alleyway that we're in, would it be in the same direction that Angel, could I have an idea of like utilizing a perk. Are we facing the direction that she's trying to steer the police towards?
You have a clear enough vantage point from this alley that you can sort of see Angel reflected in some of the glass. Like there's a car parked there. You're seeing her in the window as she's talking to these police, and you see her gesture to the other side of the building and further up the street.
Okay.
Was my drone able to pick any of that up? Because I could have just piped the sound out and Core would know exactly what's going on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if Angel looked up right now, there would be a little silent little drone like 5 feet above her head, just sort of hovering there.
Yeah, depending on what y'all want to do, I do have a perk that I would like to utilize.
Use your perk. Do it.
I mean, is it something that Core would have done if she was standing there and
yes.
heard that Angelique was being interrogated by?
Yes.
Okay,
Core, an ex-travel blogger, now turned very successful event planner, has been.
Well, I don't know. Your last event was kind of a bummer.
It was not good. It was not well attended, and it was pretty morose. Let's be honest. Yeah, but for this, I want to use my perk of Frugal, where I can construct things in any location.
I love this because you're in like an alley full of dumpsters.
There is a dumpster right there for a bar. I want to make a Molotov cocktail. And I'm going to throw that in the direction that she's trying to steer the police in.
Okay.
I have a lighter on me.
Boy, we are getting to the heart of it. All right. So the edge pool for your improvised gear edge, is intelligence. And I think this is intelligence and craft.
That is intelligence and craft for improvised gear.
Yeah. And just so you know, I did get a
technology
3.
Or science. So.
Yeah.
I got 3 for.
You got 3?
3. Yeah. One of them was a crit, but the other one was just a regular.
Excellent.
Success.
I love this so far.
Yeah. But for my frugal perk, let me just bring those up real quick.
You construct most items out of the trinkets and tools you carry, no matter how bare their location. So you have your handy fanny pack.
I do, but I think this dumpster.
I can't wait to see you dumpster dive wearing Lululemon. I just give it to me, Core. What happens?
Okay. It's like a switch flips. It's still not the realization of the, eviscerated human, but it is like muscle memory. Oh, because her and Angel have had like interactions in the past. Yeah. So it's like can't let the cops get my girl kind of a deal. So it's
You've thrown plenty of Molotov cocktails to end conversations before. It's fine.
Yeah. So you literally see Core take back off the unzip for the Lululemon top, just keeping the garden gnomes, does like a boom and then hops into the dumpster. From the sound of her boots hitting the underneath, she's able to be like to get that bottle of Everclear that she knows is down there. It's already got the top off. She takes one of those dish towels that she put underneath Hades, stuffs it in, does this, pulls out her Zippo lighter, pops back out of the dumpster, grabs she's there in a sports bra. She grabs back her top, she aims, looks over at everybody else and like, we might have to run, but I think this will work. And then she hefts that sucker in the direction that Angel is trying to steer the police.
Roll for Molotov cocktail. Roll me dexterity.
Okay. 30.
And I feel like this is larceny. I don't think it's athletics. I think that this is dexterity and larceny.
Okay, well, this will not be very good then, because larceny is, she has none in that.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, the cops are going to get distracted by a Molotov cocktail. This is just determining where it lands.
She must have felt that conversation was going south real quick. She knows. Yeah. Like, Angel is like losing it because she's like coming up with random things.
What'd you get?
I need help.
2 successes? All right.
2 successes. No crits. 2 successes.
So what happens here is Angel has distracted one of the cops and is directing them towards her nemesis, the manager, Aleja, down the street at La Palabra. And she kind of is like she steps closer to the other cop and she's talking about how it's really sad that they lost such a beautiful soul and just pouring her heart into this performance. And just as Officer Scott lifts her hand to put it reassuringly on Angel's shoulder, out of nowhere, this flaming bottle of Everclear, just spinning top over bottom, sails through the air, landing perhaps 15 feet away from where Angel and these 2 cops are standing. But because of the way that you threw it, it falls it goes straight towards the ground. It doesn't shoot at an angle. So in the middle of the street, this small fire plume just happens. Officer Alfonso spins so quickly that he falls directly on his ass. Officer Scott is probably just a little more tenured, and she like that hand that was on your shoulder, Angel, she crouches you down beside her and starts looking over her shoulder, placing her hand back on her weapon, and then immediately going to Officer Alfonso's side. Angel, this is your window if you want it.
See, I told you there was some. They were doing some things down that way. Obviously, they're trying to come back this way. You guys should really go and try to see what's going on. We tried to let you guys know there's some chaos happening tonight, but it's definitely not here.
They are not paying attention to you. Officer Scott is now on her radio. We need backup. We need backup right on the main drag, right in front of Blue Bayou.
Down the way. Down
there
that
has
way.
Been an incident involving public destruction. Please send more cops immediately. We need backup. Neither of them are paying attention to you at this moment.
I really think that came from down there. I think that they, again,
ma'am, you need to safely find your way away from these premises as soon as possible.
All right. Okay. I'll head this way. Thank you, officers, for your duty. And okay. And then she's just gonna like awkwardly try to like shuffle down, kind of like going in the direction where she thinks that the rest of the group is probably.
I would see her going and sort of gather these chaos monkeys and get us going towards her and follow with my drone. I can't believe you just did that. Do you want to get arrested tonight?
Did you see the arc on that? That was beautifully done. I think the wind caught it at the end.
I'm impressed. I mean, it seemed to have worked. So
they're never going to think to go inside the building when the rubble rousers are outside.
Rubble rousers? Where are you from?
Well done. Well done.
I pet your cat too.
Did you just pat yourself on the back? Like physically pat yourself on the back?
Angel, it is about this moment that you walk up on the group.
You see that Core is standing there in a sports bra. The Lululemon jacket is in her hand. She's petting Hades. She's got a smile.
I think I can figure out who did the little Molotov there. Core.
They're going to go away now. They'll think it's from somewhere else. All good.
Or we just brought more to the door of the bayou. Either way.
We know it's outside the bayou, though. We just don't want them going in.
Barry, would you have recalled your
Thank
drone?
you.
I would have had it follow Angel as she came.
Perhaps we should just move to another location.
Are these with one of you
what I was gonna
guys?
say,
What
actually.
is this?
So should we continue this conversation somewhere else more private?
Yes.
Does anyone? I have an office at the university.
There's something flying about. Does anyone not see this?
Oh,
It's
yeah, that's
mine.
his. Yes.
That's yours.
Yes, it's mine.
So you just carry drones to funerals.
Not the time.
Okay. All right.
Drone?
Yes, it's a hobby. It started off as a hobby, and then it developed from there. I put a lot of time and effort and money into it. It's kind of top of the line. You know what? I don't want to get into this right now. This
private
isn't the kind of place.
Private place.
You enjoy your comfort devices. I am not judging.
I'm so my primary mode of transportation are those electric scooters. So I'm gonna go approach. I'm gonna go. I mean, I probably got here in one of those. So I'm gonna go and try to find one. And try to get everyone to just follow me. We're gonna just do it like a caravan of electric scooters to my office if everyone else is okay with that.
Guys, there are some things that you can really only pull off in Miami. Just viewers, I need you to know. I couldn't have planned for this if I wanted to. It's perfect.
By a weird coincidence, that's also how Barry gets around.
Angel does not like cars, so she will gladly get on one of these scooters.
Actually, these scooters are very big in a lot of parts of the world. And Core, it makes her feel a little bit at home to get on one of these scooters.
It feels like the only one in your group, your cell, we'll call it, that isn't enjoying this mode of transportation is Hades. Who, he's really trying not to dig his claws into your shoulder super tight, Core, but he really can't help it. He's not enjoying this.
Can I do a roll to comfort him?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me your charisma and animal ken.
And are these the individual ones?
Since I have Beast Whisperer as my edge, that should have my difficulty at 4 for that.
If you succeed on a difficulty of 4 edge test, that means you can give Hades a command and he will follow within reason. If it's something like throw yourself off a bridge, he's not going to do that on a 4.
Okay, so I have 1 crit and 2 more successes.
Okay. You know what? That's enough because it's a simple command to calm down. You weren't having him do anything that's too difficult. So what do you say to Hades?
Oh, there, my little one. This is not even a thing. This is just you moving like you're running, but you don't have to move your legs. And she like kind of opens up her jumper a bit and like slings Hades in there. And then like, cause Lululemon's very tight. So
Yes.
then just kind of like does to where he's comfortable. So his like cat head is now right here.
It's definitely better. You can feel the anxiety level in Hades sort of drop a little bit the closer he is to you. But you do hear sort of a the faster you go on this scooter. Luckily, it's not an insanely long ride to get to Professor Dominguez's office. Barry, did you want to do something on the way?
Not on the way. I just want to make sure that I scanned my app for everybody's scooter because I 100% would have worked at, like done something so it's not tracking us as we go and nobody's name is associated with that. Like it's a burner Lime account, you know?
As you know, all high level criminals have, all the mob lords have burner Lime accounts.
Look, they're convenient.
Is this something that you're utilizing your global access to do, or is this something that Barry probably had put in place already?
This is so with global access, unfortunately, I can't manipulate anything. I can just search things. So this would have to be something.
I mean, it allows you to circumvent even the most complicated online securities. I would think part of that would be the customer information held by Lime. But I mean, if you don't want to use it, I'm not going to force you to use your edge.
I mean, always.
Okay.
You tell me what to roll, storyteller.
You roll your hold, please. Your intelligence and technology for that. So each different edge has a different edge pool of dice that pulls 2 different pieces of your character sheet together to make a nice little pool of dice specifically for that ability. It gives you very specific, like, here's the information you glean. Here's the thing that you're able to do if you succeed on that roll. So there's a lot of really cool edges to take a peek at. And then the perks are just things that are going to make those edges even better. Like Professor Diego's library edge was made even more specific by his library perk, who they are. That allowed him to figure out exactly what he had seen at the Blue Bayou.
Would this be an opportunity to roll a desperation die?
Absolutely. So your creed is underground, which is absolutely something that we're dealing with right now, a nefarious activity where you're circumventing the system. Where you're circumventing the system to try and get to the thing that you desire. And with 5 successes, that is enough. It almost seems kind of frantic in the way that Barry kind of like jumps in front of you to scan your scooter on his app. I mean, they do have a rewards, like a loyalty program, so you think that's what it is at first. But where the scooter would normally sort of light up to show that it was functional, and to show that that scooter was active, it lights up for a split second, and then you almost hear like a little noise, and the light goes out.
All right,
but the scooter runs fine.
We're on the dark scooters now. They can't
Ooh.
track us.
Ooh.
There are dark scooters.
Well,
But
now there are.
It has green lights on it. Usually.
That's why it's dark. Come on, let's go. Trust me. Just
Okay.
trust me.
I'm zoom away. Hoping
And,
that they're behind me.
Yeah.
Where are we headed again?
Oh, we're following the professor. Just come right now.
But where?
Professor, tell us about your office.
Okay,
It takes
so
about 10 minutes to get to the University of Miami campus from where you are right now. Scooters are way more convenient than cars at this hour in the night.
yeah, so we get to my office, which is on it's on the second floor of a building. It's a brick building. It's an older. You can see that there's parts of the university that have been paid attention to a little bit more. There's some buildings that are more modern looking. There's some construction that's happening in certain places. Clearly, the university is funding other departments better than mine. So we go to this like older brick building. And it's a little bit weathered. The windows are smaller. It looks stuffy. From the outside, you can tell that it's stuffy on the inside. And I take us to this stairwell that's on the side. And we start to go up the stairs to the second floor. And down this hallway, in between, there's a number of offices. You go through a door that's on the left, and I unlock it, go pull out my keys, and I always forget which key it is. So the first 3 keys that I try are the wrong key. Finally unlock it. We walk in, and it's just books lined with books from bottom to the top. And there's one desk right in the middle, and there's one chair off to the side. And nowhere else to sit. It's clear that I do not have a lot of company here. And I just have one obligatory chair for any kind of office hours or any kind of meetings that don't usually even happen. So I walk in like it's like I live here, and you smell as if I probably do. It smells like someone's probably lived here. The smell of like, I don't know, lived in.
Like old coffee, like really old coffee, maybe.
Oh,
some
yes.
tea, like forgotten lunches that you never really got to.
And like lingering morning breath that's like stayed in the office. So
That's why you looked so familiar. Obviously, I graduated here from University of Miami. You could have said that you were a professor here. And wait, what do you teach? And she's going to look around at the books. What does she see?
It depends on the semester. I mean, but my specialty is in history, of course, but it's more of the ancient history.
Oh my God, you were the one who almost failed me.
The Egyptian and Greek and Roman.
Wait, your hair was different back then, right? This is a new look, or maybe it's the glasses. You should remember Angelique Dubois. I may have come to this very office, even though it's dark right now, and asked you for extra credit, but you didn't want to give it to me. And yeah, I barely passed. Just so you know, yeah.
I don't give extra credit in my classes.
Every time it happens, the whole extra credit thing just goes right over your head.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I just respond with, I never give extra credit.
And Diego are having this conversation. Core is like holding Hades and has like kind of stood off in the corner, and her shoulders starts hitching, and she looks over at everybody. She's like, a person died. And then she starts crying. It literally finally hits her, and she turns away.
Oh, come here. I'm sorry. Listen. It's a lot. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to process everything, and you're processing things right now. I'm so sorry.
And now we're in like a book morgue, and this is like we went from a morgue to another morgue, and I'm sorry. I just need a moment. Is there a bathroom?
Oh, yes, there's actually the good bathroom is further down
Or
the
just
hall.
leaves.
That one's private.
Barry, you've been awfully quiet. This is a strange environment for you. What are you doing walking into this abysmal office?
Well, Barry's first instinct is to just part ways with these folks. They obviously don't know how to avoid attention. And in fact, they're drawing more and more attention as we try to get off the radar and get away from the dead body. But he also knows that they've seen his face and they know his name. And so he's reluctant to leave them because if they get picked up, they're going to, point out old Barry.
Maybe they can help you.
Well, there's also that little, like, in the back of his head, the professor mentioned something in a book about the things, and then he started going on about rambling or something or another, but he did talk about the thing that we saw. And so Barry's kind of just, he's standing closer to the door. Cora probably had to push him out of the way just a little bit to get out, because he's ready to run if things go odd, but he's also very curious about what the professor might be able to pull up.
Yeah. And Cora didn't go all the way to the bathroom. She's now in the hallway, just silently having her moment. But if, loud talking happens, she'd be able to hear.
Cora, as you're kind of having this crisis, even though this is a new experience, and even though it was a terrible one, and even though you witnessed the most primal, vicious physical act you'd ever seen mere inches from your face, not even 2 hours ago, you can feel within you that soft place, the one that's currently breaking, start to ice over and to steel up with resolve.
It wasn't right, though, was it, Hades? And Cor pulls Hades out, this big cat, out of Lululemon, and zips that back up and kind of like has him face to face with her. It wasn't right to do that. And also, Toby, one of the, I knew him, Hades. He was a worker of mine, one of the special jobs. I've talked to you about it. The special jobs that I started assigning specific people to. He was one, and he came back, and he was not a human. He was not natural.
Hades sits in front of you, and for all of the cat people, dog people debates, you've always had a very special connection with Hades. You seem to understand him when he would try and emote to you, and it felt like that was reciprocated. And right now he sits in front of you, thoughtfully listening, tail flicking back and forth every once in a while across the dirty marble of this hallway. And when you start talking about Toby, he cocks his head for a moment, and he sees you becoming more upset. And that sort of low yowl that cats get. You hear that very softly.
You understand? Of course you do. You always do. But Toby and the ones like him, if there are ones like him, like in Isaac Meadows' teachings. Something has to be done about that. Maybe the book mortician has more things that he might know about this.
And Hades stands up and sort of pads back towards the professor's office. And he takes a few steps and then turns and looks back at you expectantly.
All right. Well, but that one is a weird one, Hades. I mean, he smells like he has a cold, but he's not coughing. He smells like lozenges all the time. But I am curious about that other one. I do find it very comforting to know that someone else is very aware of their emotional needs and has so many comfort devices on them. I believe his name was Barry. I find that endearing.
Barry Barry might do this too, but Hades kind of does that like little cat chirping noise. The happy chirp that cats do where they're like brap, 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 back at you when you start talking about emotional support devices.
Cora then heads back towards the office following Hades.
While that was happening, I want to go back to Angel and Diego's conversation. And Angel, this almost feels surreal right now. You're standing in an office that you've been in before, having a conversation with a man you've met before. Only now, everything is different. The world is not the way you thought it was. And these people around you, they know that too. This book mortician, he talks like your grandmother did. This twitchy drone guy, he's careful like she was. And of course, Core, who you've known, she's constantly checking in on people. She's always making sure that everyone is okay. And if they're not, she will throw a Molotov cocktail to ensure that they are. And something from that previous life, where you went to the University of Miami, where you graduated, not with honors, but you graduated. That's the important part.
Yeah, it was rough.
It feels so trivial now. Owning a restaurant, beating La Palabra. Why does that matter? And Diego, for someone who studies ancient cultures and ancient history, finding something new, a new lens with which to view the entirety of humanity's existence, that begs to be understood. That warrants your attention. And Angel has quite the library. Barry's a little abrasive, but he does have some skill. And even though Core says she probably doesn't have experience with this kind of thing, you're getting the inkling that she absolutely does. Bottom line. These people can now see through the same lens that you can. So Angel and Barry and Diego,
Mm-hmm.
You stand in this office having a moment where you're physically having the past melt away in terms of importance and significance. And it hits you as you stand there, Diego, facing a former student and a man who you're pretty sure you saw on the news not too long ago. And it hits you. One of the texts that you'd found in the library 6 months ago. It was old, but not super old. Perhaps 100 years or so. It was New English. You started flipping through it. There were a lot of notes in the margins. Handwriting that you would later recognize as Isaac Meadows as you flipped through it. And as you were looking through this document, it talked about political battles waged. It spoke about the subterfuge of the revolutionary period in France. And at first, the notes all kind of made sense. It was musings about art from the time. It was musings about different historical figures from the same era. But as you got further and further into that book, you remember the notes speaking of wolves, beasts, and beings that lived impossibly long. There were notes in the margins that referenced Xerxes of Persia. Figures that couldn't possibly have any influence on the events of this book. And on the last page, circled about 20 times over, the worm in huge letters.
The worm.
That's what these beings are after. That's what they desire.
The worm. I start to I go into like teacher mode, where I start to put the book down on the desk and I call everyone and I start to like retrace exactly the steps of the research that I just did, starting from the beginning and especially pointing out the writing on the margins. You see this when you, one of the glorious things about books, tangible books where they've been passed down from one person to another person, is that everyone who's had these books in their hands leaves something of them. You can find sometimes clues in how they thought, their own thought process. And I start to flip through and point out Isaac's handwriting, and especially how it starts to maybe change from the beginning of the book, middle of the book, towards the end, and then start to really highlight that, which looks really frantic, like the way that word, the worm, was circled over and over and over and over again.
To the rest of you, it very much looks like the musings of a madman.
In here, we were all brought together because of this memorial for Isaac, and which means that we were all there was something about him that drew us to him, and I don't believe in coincidences. We all witnessed what we witnessed, and it's tied to him, and it's tied to these supernatural creatures. And if we retrace some of his steps, then maybe we will find our way to them, or to some knowledge about them, or maybe we can even get ourselves one step ahead of them. And
I mean,
I start to pass out some of the books of his.
Up until today, what you saw in my private area, the collection, it was passed down from my grandmother who passed away. And she gave it to me for a reason, which now I am starting to understand that it's not just, really creepy stories that were passed down in Louisiana. It's hard to believe that it's real when I thought that it was just, I don't know, the musings of someone who's older and just wanted me to keep up traditions, some weird ones. I guess I don't understand all of this, but I mean, I can understand what you meant about things being passed down. And my grandmother did similar things in the books that she gave me.
And you have those books?
Of course, yeah.
We should take a look at all of them. You understand the gift that this is.
Well,
your grandmother was probably alone. Isaac Meadows was, as far as I understood, alone. They had to try to process this world by themselves, but we've been gifted this moment so that we don't have to be the only eyes on this.
It isn't just
no, go ahead.
It isn't just books, though. I'll be honest. Well, from what we experienced tonight, and from that man, I don't know what term to utilize for Toby anymore, but from that person, this isn't an isolated incident, as I'm sure the book whisperer has said, to us this entire time. I think that I have built my business on top of events for these creatures. I'm not certain.
You've seen them before?
I have not. Before now, I have not. Tonight is the first time for me. But there have been specific things that have happened post events that were just weird. They were just weird. But the 1%, they're always weird. They're not like human like the rest of us, even though they are human, unlike what we saw tonight.
Who's Toby?
Toby was the laughing man in the shadowy corner. Toby died months ago. But Toby,
wait, what? He died.
Toby was there tonight.
How was actually no, it's obviously possible.
So you knew that person?
I did know Toby. Toby worked for me previously, at an engagement. Wasn't the best worker, but some jobs aren't meant for everyone, and you understand that. But then Toby disappeared after a job, and
you didn't think it was important to tell us that there was someone who was presumed to be dead?
When would I have told you? When I was putting on my Lululemon?
Fair enough.
There was a lot that was happening, and there was a lot to process. But
yes,
I even held a memorial service for him, just like I did Isaac Meadows. And it's like, what is one to tell his daughter and his wife now? Where it's like,
well, it's the same thing for poor Perry. What am I supposed to tell his family? God,
what are we supposed to do now? Because Toby,
my God.
Toby's not the other one. If the events that I've held and the people the weird things that have happened afterwards, then this is not an isolated incident.
What was Toby's last name?
Putnam.
Carry on.
Toby with 2 E's.
Ooh. So was Toby who was? I mean, there was a conflict between the really powerful, large, muscular.
And I got a feeling, and this is something that I get in certain cases when some people have some bad juju going on. Something's wrong, something's off, and that one right there, that one I knew, but that is totally on me for not saying anything. I just thought it was another tall and broody like what we have here. I didn't know. But now I know I need to go with that gut instinct immediately going forward.
Professor. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just, it looks like you've been working with your comfort device. Did you think of something?
Well, I mean, I don't know what the professor's going on about. Obviously, the powerful one in the room was the one that could command somebody to die. I don't know about the muscles and everything. Everybody has muscles. But Toby Putnam, storyteller, can I glean any information about Toby Putnam and where he might be now?
Oh, you know what you gotta give, you want to know where he is now?
Well, like not like now, but like he died, pull up his obit maybe, and then maybe find some sort of trace that he is still living. And so we could begin tracking him down.
Yeah, if you search Toby Putnam, you get an obituary and a memorial plot just outside of town.
Okay, I'd like to use my perk to dig a little deeper.
And what does the text for dig a little deeper give us?
Oh, no, that's just a line from a song.
From Princess and the Frog.
You don't
Mama
have a
Odie.
perk for global access, babe.
No, not a perk, but just using global access as my
That's your
edge.
edge.
Sorry.
Use the right word.
Sorry. I would like to use my edge, global access, to dig a little deeper and see if I can find out anything about what Toby's been up to since he died.
Pulling a Mama Odie. I see you. That's awesome.
Well, so here's the thing. If you're still looking for Toby Putnam,
that's all I got to go on.
To find anything.
Okay. Never mind. That was a bust. Professor, what'd you pull up? Is there anything that we can use to find these people?
Well, I mean, and so the word the worm, it's WORM worm. WURM.
I didn't graduate from college, but that's not how you spell that word.
Can Angel take a look at the text?
Yeah, I should
try to see if anything clicks.
So, Professor, like Barry comes up with Bupkis on his phone, and you're like trying to figure out how to translate. We need to find Toby Putnam into this ancient text that clearly existed before Toby did. So you're like helplessly holding the book and you just kind of like hold it out to Angel. Angel, he hands you this red leather-bound book. And that hits a nerve. And you remember the object that you kicked across the floor, leaving the blue bayou. And maybe it was the panic of the moment, or maybe it was the adrenaline from literally every other moment that happened last night. But the information didn't register until just now. That was a matchbook. That was a matchbook that someone dropped. Probably during a fight. Maybe they were hulking out of their black hoodie. A red matchbook with gold gilding inlay that read Albert I. Dupont Building, Miami, Florida.
Albert I. Dupont. You guys aren't going to like my suggestion, but I want to go back to Bayou.
No.
What for?
Heard her say Albert I. Dupont.
And I did say that out loud. I said it.
Albert I. Dupont.
Wait,
Who's a Miami local?
the building? Albert I. Dupont building?
Yeah,
I held a very tasteful event there. Tasteful, but I will say there was BDSM involved.
Oh,
As one is to do. There's private quarters up on the top.
Well, I don't shame anybody's kinks.
No.
Right
We are not here to shame anyone. But that always makes me remember that particular building.
Barry, you got some really useful footage from that party, for the record.
So just so you guys know, when I was heading to meet up with the officers out front, I did. I think I kicked something. It looked like a matchbook with the name on it, red, and it had the gold overlays on it. And I didn't have time because obviously I was trying to focus on the mission at hand. So I didn't go to pick it up. But I swear I think that's what I saw, but I just want to confirm, so then that way we can try to see if there's a link with everything that's happening tonight and this individual or whatever.
How far is this building?
Diego, you would know that the building is less than 15 minutes from where you are now by scooter. All of you who are Miami locals would know that the Albert I. Dupont building has a reputation as the most haunted location in Miami.
Oh, we must go there. We must go there now.
Are you sure you don't want to make sure that I didn't just in the chaos make up something in my head? I mean,
we talked about this before, and you do this. Your recollections are sharper than you realize. I trust your recollection.
That is true. I did get it from my grandma. But
you should trust it more.
Also, never return to the scene of the crime. That's how they get you.
But we didn't commit a crime. It
I
wasn't
didn't
us.
say the scene of our crime, the scene of the crime.
Yeah, Nancy Drew said that. I remember that.
All right. So we're just gonna roll up in our scooters to the building, and then what?
Well, Core, you said that you had an event there. Was it recently? Can we go there? You're going there as someone who's looking to, do another event.
Dress like that? And then she's gonna point to the pants.
These are your own clothes. Are you busting on your own clothes?
No, it's listen, we have the things we wear to the gym that we don't mind getting sweaty and dirty. Right. And then we have when we're presenting ourselves in front of clients.
I just start changing in front of them because I realize that I'm still in like bloody clothes and I have a lot of not very clean clothes here.
Stuff thrown around.
Oh yeah, very wrinkled.
Angel,
and not
will
very
people
washed.
Look real quick at Diego changing to see what's good, and then turn back to Core.
You see that nothing is good.
Core, you would know.
What time is it right now?
It's up, like the sun is just rising.
So would there still be after parties going on? Because in Miami, after parties are usually.
Oh yeah, it was. This was an all-nighter. The block party that was happening up at La Palabra went on all night. They must have made a fucking killing.
Okay.
No offense.
Then
it was an off night for us.
I would like to utilize Core's resources, of which she has plentiful, for if it's within after hours time, that somewhere on the way on to the Albert building, that she would be able to go into a boutique that she has a tab with or something like that, to be able to change in something more appropriate for going like she is scouting for another private party.
Just for the sake of drama, roll me your Let's do charisma and resources. It's like 6 a.m. and people will not be happy that you're calling them at 6 a.m.
Yup, they would not. All right. Would the difficulty still be 6 with this? My charisma is at 3 and my resources are a 4.
Nope, I got the difficulty up here.
Got it. Okay. 8, 7, 6, 2, 3 5s and a 3.
7, 6, 3, 5, 3. Okay, that's 3 successes, which is what you needed. So it takes a couple different tries, but on, let's say, the 3rd phone call, your personal stylist, Marguerite, picks up. Cor, are you okay? Do you need me to come bail you out or something?
Oh, it's not like that. It really isn't. It's just let's say I had a wild night and I ended up in a very attractive female's leftover Lululemon.
Very Lululemon.
Yeah, and I want to I have to do an early scouting, darling, and because of that I need to look a bit more business worthy, and if there's a shower involved, awesome. But I can also use handy wipes. Take that as you will.
It's 6 a.m.
I'll treat you to brunch next time round at the exclusive place that you love.
Ask her for 2 outfits.
And that's going to be 2 outfits that I'm going to need for that round, same size. But how about that exclusive brunch? It can be a private party of up to 7 of your favorites.
Oh, and free drinks at Bayou.
And this would be a favor for Blue Bayou, so you'll get around the free drinks there as well.
Fine, give me 20 minutes. Where do you want me to meet you?
And Cora is going to give them an intersection that's between there and the Albert building, or maybe just past the Albert building.
Wonderful. Barry, you look like you've been scheming over there.
No, in my head, I was just waiting for them to offer him an outfit, and he was mentally preparing his refusal from changing out of Miami chic. But definitely in the meantime, while they were doing all their stuff, would have done some research on this building to see if there was if he had any connections there, or if there was any high profile residents of the building that perhaps he might know some things about, just to, a backup plan in case Core's thing didn't work, which between you and me, Barry doesn't see her pulling this off. We'll see. Yeah, but
Barry's a one-man operation. I doubt he has a lot of faith in what's happening around him right now. So with just like a cursory Google search, with just a basic search, nothing fancy, that the Albert I. Dupont building is known for very elaborate event spaces, lots and lots and lots of weddings. In fact, it feels like that's all that happens there. That there are several offices that have been put in place, and like some like hotel style rooms that have been put on the higher floors. P.S. If anyone's from Miami, that's probably not true. That I'm just making up. But the weddings part and it being haunted is absolutely real. So with just a cursory Google search, that it would be fairly easy to get into this place by saying you were planning an elaborate wedding. With a little bit of a deeper dig, maybe on some of those, on like Reddit forums and things like that, where, you get a lot of weird conspiracy theories, but one consistent detail that seemed to carry over from place to place was that this building was haunted by the ghost of a starlet named Pilar, who every once in a while she's seen by guests. But the building itself is known for very strange things happening there. Not unexplainable, but odd events, murders, just kind of a spotty history. If you dug even deeper to maybe break into the internal computer system, say, you might be able to schedule an appointment.
Yes. That's what I'd like to do.
Wonderful. I'm glad you reached this conclusion all on your own, Barry. I need you to roll me your intelligence and technology.
Everybody's given all names, right? So I would know, like, I'm not making this appointment for myself. So.
Well, I mean, is it really going to be believable that people are marrying the professor? I'm just going to throw it out there. I mean, the man has a lot of stains. His clothes are inside out. No offense.
I mean, we're not getting married. Ooh, that is
Angel might volunteer.
That is 6 successes.
I think Angel might be the person that's getting married or planning for a future wedding, just hasn't found the spouse yet.
Did you say 6 successes, Barry? All right. Tell me about this appointment you made. What did you put on their books for this morning at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning?
So I don't know exactly where we need to go. So I put on there that the illustrious Core Springman is bringing a very high profile client by to plan for his upcoming wedding. And he's a bit of a eccentric. So I put all these notes in there that they knew that they wanted to get married at this building, but beyond that, they didn't know. So they need access to every single room, every venue possible, so that he can fully immerse himself in every single venue. Just make sure all the doors are open. They have 100% access to go wherever they need to, because who knows, this eccentric multi-billionaire might want to get married in a broom closet. We don't know yet. We have to get there first, and he's got to feel the vibe of each place.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Completely understandable. Got to vibe check your wedding.
Right. Yep.
As you're putting this appointment on the books, you notice that there is one other appointment booked for this morning. It's 7:30. It's for some woman named Anna O'Hara. But you figure you guys will be in and out long before she shows up. So no worries there.
What's that appointment for? While I'm in there, I might as well read about it.
Well, I mean, there aren't a ton of details. It basically just says Anna O'Hara, 7:30 VIP.
Just because Barry's a bit of a chaotic person himself, when he has the opportunity to make a little trouble, he cancels that appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Because he expects a VIP that has their appointment canceled might just be a nice little distraction. Should we need it? We know at 7:30 there's probably going to be a meltdown at the front. So
yeah, I'm sure they won't throw a fit at all.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we have clothes being delivered. We have an appointment on the books. Is there anything else that we'd like to do to prepare for our trip to the Albert I. Dupont building?
There's a lovely black ribbon delivered for Hades as well. Yes, look as spiffy vest. It's like maybe a tuxedo-like ribbon. Type,
classy. Yes, I like it.
And Core is A-okay with if scooters are taken to the next location, by the way.
Oh, we might want to freshen up a bit, darling.
Oh, the clothes are going to be.
No, I know. I mean, because I obviously used to go here. I know where the women's locker room for the athletes are, so we can go and take a shower. Freshen up so we don't smell like guts and gore.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I didn't get the.
Well, you can just go to the bathroom and just use the hand soap.
Yeah, I'll follow Angel. So let's go where you're saying.
Yes.
Angel, when you come back, I'm gonna have something for you. I'm gonna have a stack of books because I know that you had a response to the book, right? That I saw that Angel had like a response to that red leather bound book.
Oh,
did I notice
you're
that?
Getting books for Christmas for every birthday from here until the end of time.
There's two things that I'm gonna do while I'm waiting for them. I'm going to look through all the books, read through any of the margins to see if Isaac has mentioned this building. And I'm going to create just a couple of books that I'm going to put in Angel's hands to see if some of that, whatever it was, jumps out. You're going to be like my litmus test.
Okay.
Barry starts to walk out with them towards the bathroom.
Yeah, I'll show you where the men's area is. It's down the hall. You make 2 lefts and then a straight.
Oh no, I'm all right.
So you're just going to do
Is there something that you wanted to say? Are you feeling unsafe? I'm a good person to talk to if you're feeling unsafe.
No. It's fine. I thought I misunderstood. I'm sorry. I thought we were all going to. Never mind.
No. Say your words. We want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I thought we were all freshening up.
That's what we were going to do. But I mean,
do you utilize the women's? No problem with that.
That's totally fine.
I just safety in numbers is all I was thinking. But you know what? No, I'll stay with the professor. That's probably better.
I should have asked ahead of time.
We should have did the pronoun check.
I'm sorry. Your pronouns? I apologize.
This is he, him. That's me. I just thought. You know what? I misunderstood. I thought you all wanted to shower together.
No, Barry. I'm going to use this as a teachable moment for you. Quick teachable.
You do it. I'm not in a place to.
This, whether or not you are meaning for it to be that way, is creepy. Like this is literally a creepy thing for us because you're not identifying with the same bathroom that we utilize. And then you said showering together and like you want to shower with us. And it's like, no, we don't know each other like that. And there was
it's giving us the wrong signals.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand. I just misinterpreted. I thought you said we would all go. Look, I don't need to freshen up. I showered yesterday. Can I do it? I just thought.
It's not like a commune thing where it's like, shower time.
We're gonna expedite just right through this really fucking uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah. Angel, is there something that you wanted to say to Cora specifically?
Are you talking to me?
No, Angel.
No, Angel. Was there something that you a private conversation that you'd wanted to have with Core?
No, I was literally just taking her to because of the fact that I knew that she specifically
get those guts off of you.
She specifically had a lot of stuff, but also to like Angel, she's not going to present herself in front of anyone if she's not, fresh and smelling good, smelling right. So yeah, so that was actually just to go do that, but this happened.
You all get like another glimpse of Barry, and for a moment where he had seemed like really capable and helpful, gross is really the terminology that comes to mind. But you know what? Not without a possibility for redemption. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Possibly naive a bit. That's what Core is thinking. Like
maybe he hasn't had a lot of interactions with other people.
Yeah.
He seems more at home behind a screen.
Yeah. Core still just finds him like more of a naive sense for like social interactions. And that's why she took the time to start explaining things.
And just to clarify, Barry, that is the case, correct?
Barry was not being a creep in this situation. Like if Barry wanted to be a creep, he'd use cameras because that's safer for him.
Mm-hmm.
No, he thought in Barry's head.
Guys, Barry's terrible. I don't know if you've picked up on this yet. He's legitimately pretty awful.
Barry somehow thought that they were trying to get away from the professor to have a conversation without him there. And so he thought he was going to be a part of that too. He's not really sure why he thought that. He thought there was a vibe there where, there was gonna go with them.
Hence Angel saying signals wrong.
Yeah, he missed the thing there. Barry is awkward.
So, now that there's kind of some context for just these really weird social interactions, you all, Angel and Core, you go and get freshened up. You're able to wash most of the blood out of your hair really quickly. You are in kind of a hurry. And as you kind of come back to the office and you're all like geared up to go and to check out the Albert I. Dupont building, you can see that Barry's still kind of like trying to figure out what went wrong 20 minutes ago. And the professor, Angel, he like shoves this little stack of books into your hands and just like waits.
Do you need to look at one book at a time? I just want to know if you get like a feeling from any of these books.
I was really confused what I was supposed to do just now. Let's.
How about this one?
Come inside and then.
Core, your phone rings. Marguerite is like calling you.
Immediately answers, steps off to the side, leaving Angel to that other.
Yeah, she's just like kind of looking at Core like.
And is like, oh, how lovely. He gifted books that he owns, and I think is hi, Marguerite. Yes.
Where are you?
Oh, coming right out. And then, oh wait, we were supposed to meet. Everyone, we've got to go. We've got to meet. So let's get on our schedules. We've got to go right now. I am literally 7 minutes out.
Every time you say that, you're like 20 minutes out.
I'm literally 8 minutes out. And then
2 brunches.
Core like gets everybody out so that they can go meet to go ahead and get this. And I would assume meet up in 11 minutes from when she answered the phone.
Something close to that.
And Angel will take the books that Diego gave her with her. She'll like try to like stuff it into like if there's like any type of bag that Diego has like strewn around.
I have satchels
office.
all over.
Yeah. We'll try to toss it in the closest one that's like, I don't know, Whole Foods. I don't know, whatever it is. She's just putting that in there to like carry with her.
Okay. You got a bag full of books.
Yes.
Weird old books.
Mm-hmm.
Hades is on your shoulder. You all head and you meet Marguerite, who is not in a chatty mood. She kind of like hands you a garment bag, waits for you to unzip it, Core, and take a quick glance and like give her a thumbs up, and then she's gone. She picked out like a really well-tailored berry-colored suit for you that's in sort of your normal jewel tones. Very like perfectly tailored to your specifications. It looks like it would fit you like a glove. And then surprisingly, she has something in a very similar tone, but like a skirt set that is like a jade color, presumably for Angel.
We step into a public bathroom and change real quick to then head to Albert Dupont building.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Which the action of like going inside to change clothes after they already like left the group to go get freshened up feels very strange to both of you, Barry and Diego. You're like, why? what is why.
Mm.
But as you kind of pull up to the Albert I. Dupont building
On our scooters.
on your scooters, it sort of makes sense. This building is massive. It's got very like Art Deco style architecture, symmetrical with lots of scroll work, and it's truly a masterpiece. And you pull open the brass doors to find the atrium, which has a very, very high ceiling, lots of beautiful white plush furniture. It's got very like cream colored decor around, beautiful plaster work, and it's a gorgeous space. Diego, you can't help but think, stepping through the doors, that this would make such an excellent library. There is so much natural light in here. You could read forever.
I like reading.
And immediately, Core, I'm assuming that you're leading the way going into the building.
Yes, Core has been here before and knows the sign-in, the check-in person that will be meeting them.
Clarice, who you recognize from having worked with her before, she comes up to you immediately and says, Miss Core, Miss Springman, I had no idea. Were we expecting you today?
Oh, yes, I know. It is a last minute type of engagement, so to speak.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I should be on the books actually for today and have full access for a very, very VVVIP client. It's like nuptials are involved. So
wonderful. And Clarice kind of looks past you for just a moment and looks very hopefully at Angel before.
And Core shakes her head.
Oh.
Eccentric, darling. Very eccentric. Very wealthy. The other one. Mm.
Welcome. What would you like to see first? Is this your partner, your assistant? Sir, you can step all the way in. She kind of motions to you, Barry.
Oh, I'm just keeping an eye out.
Okay, but you can come inside to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Not only is the client eccentric, but their personnel is as well. So you know how it is, darling, you know? So
I definitely do. Well, welcome. Please make your way into the beautiful, spacious foyer. I'm sure that Miss Springman has told you a lot about our building.
Our client wants to look at the most exclusive area.
I had no. If Diego is the client,
yes,
he had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And has no idea that anybody's talking about him. At some point mid-conversation, he's gone to wherever guests go to sign in, and he's looking through the sign-in to see like the signatures and the writing of the people that are there.
Sir.
Clarice, literally this client does not enter buildings that haven't had the right families visiting them. So literally it's just checking for if anyone, like who's in this guest book.
He tears off a page and puts it in his pocket.
Miss Springman, why don't you collect your client whenever they're ready? Meanwhile, why don't your two other guests come with me and I can show you the suites upstairs?
I think I would really like it if you have like a security room. I really would like to make sure that Mr. Diego's presence is monitored, and I would like access to that, please.
See some of the wedding features first, and then I'm happy to show you the security features that we have on hand. If you'll just follow me over to the elevators, we can go right on up.
Great. How about I go to the elevator?
I would like to go there now, and you can show them all the spaces.
Angel, where would you be going?
Angel is kind of like darting her eyes between Diego, trying to see what Core is signaling for her to do, because they didn't kind of discuss who was playing what role or how this was going to go down. And then kind of trying to see what Barry is trying to do. So she's kind of like in the middle, kind of just trying to figure out which way to go. She's probably going to follow Diego, though, to the elevator if she sees that he's heading there, because of the fact that she doesn't trust him going anywhere by himself alone.
What about Core?
Core would have signaled to Angel to go with Barry, since Core has to go upstairs. Like, Core has to go with the client.
Okay, and then she would probably stop and be like,
anywhere else. So, yeah.
So Core is following Diego toward the bank of elevators. Barry, you are standing there arguing with Clarice about the security room, and Angel is there to babysit you, essentially. As you're kind of arguing with her and saying, I would like to see the security room now, a man in a black suit walks up to Clarice's other side and sort of interrupts you by sidestepping into that conversation. Ma'am, we had a private appointment at 7:30 this morning, and I'm being told that that's not on the books anymore. Is there something that you need to explain to me about that? And Clarice kind of shrinks for a minute, and she goes, I only see one appointment on my books. And the gentleman kind of whirls on the two of you, Angel and Barry. He's impressive in stature. He's a big guy. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Barry's gonna shrink back behind Angel and say, none of your business, and then take a step back behind Angel.
Well, I declare, you don't know anything about my fiance over there. Are you serious right now? And she's like literally doing like the most extra Southern accent, and she kind of looks over at Core like kind of shrugs. Like,
I need you to roll me manipulation and performance.
Good thing I'm somewhat good at this. Fantastic. That's 4 successes.
4 successes. So the man in the black suit looks genuinely flustered as he turns his attention to the bank of elevators. And just as Diego and Core reach it and go to press the button, the light signaling his presence comes on. And Angel, that feeling deep in your bones, that feeling of bad energy, of bad juju, of wrongness comes over you in a wave as the elevator doors begin to part. And that's where we'll stop this evening.
Wow.
So we got to see a little bit more of our hunters. We kind of got to learn a little bit more about their mannerisms. I'm really pleased with the fact that we have 2 fellows who don't know how to interact with other humans, and then 2 high profile businesswomen who are just like, okay, here is how you interact with society. You cannot go into these places unshowered. That's an interesting dynamic that you all have going on. So without further ado, let's hear where people can find you between now and the next episode. Luis, I know you told us already a little bit about, I don't know, a little show called Critical Role, but could you tell me again?
Sure. Exandria Unlimited Calamity, which will be premiering tomorrow at 7 p.m. You could find me on Twitch, on Instagram. It's just my name, first name, last name, Luis Carazo. Put that together and you'll find me.
Excellent. Wonderful. I'll be there with bells on. Next, how about you, Markeia? Crowned Queen of Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess Core's lighter side came out tonight. Definitely, I'm sure that'll get squashed in later episodes. You can find me at Markeia McCarty. That's Markeia McCarty. That's Instagram, Twitter. Those places. Darth Markeia everywhere else. Basically, just put my first name in, and you'll find me on the social media platform. Literally find me here on Wednesdays. I have Damsels, Dice, and Everything Nice that'll be happening. I have my premiere episode happening this Saturday.
Ooh, I can't wait to see who you are.
Yes, that's Princess is like, am I a princess? Well, I got these fists. These fists energized by the power of love.
Oh.
So, that kind of persona. I'm really excited about this character that I'm playing, and that will be on Pixel Circus's Twitch. That is 6 p.m. This Saturday Pacific time.
Excellent, wonderful. Briana, I know you just got some wonderful news about joining us at Gen Con, but what do you have going on between now and then?
Actually, on Friday, you can catch me over on Latinx and Games. We're going to be doing a really special play test of Emerald Templars, which is that_D'Angelo on the social medias. His awesome new Kickstarter, his TTRPG that he has going on, that you can actually, check it out, because I think the materials are going to be soon out there for everyone to test. You get to see us play through a fun game, and it's going to be great. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Latinx and Games, so definitely check it out if you're interested in a new TTRPG system. It's definitely a lot of fun, and really cool how many different cultures he's kind of put into the TTRPG as well. And we're all about diversity and inclusion here, right? So
yeah, D'Angelo is amazing. I can't wait for my copy.
Oh yeah.
And then certainly last but not least, Barry Sark, owner of Baby Shark. Let's hear it. What you doing?
Baby Shark is the brand name of the drones that I'm producing. They'll be on store shelves later this year.
No, they won't.
Barry's producing them.
Okay.
My name is Justus. You can find me on all the socials, Stash Mandu. I have pictures of my face on Instagram, but I'm more active on Twitter right now. I've got a few games going, releasing June 2nd, Thursday, June 2nd. So next week, we've got a V5 game on Gehenna Gaming, Bleeding Kansas. I play a wicked, gnarly Ventru. We're recording our third episode tomorrow, and it's shaping up to be a really fun game. And then Monday nights on Nat One Fun, you can find me doing some improv. It's a lot of fun.
Wonderful.
Oh, and tomorrow, but I'll let you talk about that. Yeah.
That's not tomorrow.
Friday.
I'm Diana DiMicco. I've been your storyteller this evening. So yeah, you can find me all over the place. I am the director of marketing and communications over at Die Hard Dice. I do a lot of shows all over the place. Right now, the only one that I'm really excited, like other than this, obviously, the one that I'm super excited about is Friday for my birthday. We're doing a fundraising stream for Trans Lifeline over on Gehenna Gaming's channel. That is a Call of Cthulhu one-shot. With Joe Johnson, Trevor Val, Art and Audio, Justice, and the Noir Enigma. it's going to be wild. Like, if you've ever seen any of my charity games, they get pretty stupid, but this is going to take the cake. I'm 90% positive. So please come hang out, donate to that so that we have some fun and do some cool stuff with cool people. Other than that, I think you all can plan on meeting us back here next Wednesday for maybe some more hunting, and we'll see. Who knows what's in that elevator? I don't. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have a great weekend. Bye.